Okay, hey folks, welcome to Rusty and Nellie's Jungle. So I just put up a video on lighting and I babbled on for about 30 minutes.
And you have rambled on for 18 pages. Front and back!
There's some good information in there. Then I watched it and realized there's a ton of stuff. And these are just preliminary videos. I don't want to get too much in depth, but I still want to get the point across, these helpful hints that we have. So this video is going to be some extra stuff. So what we learned in the first one, T12's no good. T8's no good. T5s are good, LEDs, and we're going to go over all these lights and then I'm going to take you for a tour in our grow rooms and around our house and show you different lights that we have, because we're using all sorts of different lights, different methods. But first I was thinking it's kind of important to understand wattage. And the reason I say that is when we have a light like this that has a ballast, this is 50 watts, 54 watts. So we put two in a light, we have, in a ballast, we have 100 watts. Sounds great. Now, that light, when it's running, will be using 110 watts approximately, plus whatever the ballast is using. So if we use a whole bunch of them, we could run into some problems. And here's the problem. Each circuit, now we're talking North America here, not England and what have you, but each circuit right here in North America is typically about 1500 watts or 15 amps. And that doesn't mean your plug, that means that entire circuit. So before you set up a grow room, please turn off your breaker or your fuse for that area. Find out what's hooked up to that circuit. Extremely important, because you only have 1500 watts. That's your maximum. So it's not per plug, it's per circuit. So, and there could be two rooms on that. The hallway lights could be on that. So very important, turn off the breaker, turn off the fuse, find out everything that's connected to that circuit, and then realize, including your lights and your TVs or whatever's on that circuit, that's all you have. Because what'll happen if you overload a circuit, say you put a little space heater in there and the space heater is using up 1,000 watts, you only have 5 left for your lighting. And I wouldn't recommend that you have any circuit that's running 1500 watts for 12 hours in a row. If you overload these circuits, say you put 2000 watts on a 1500 watt circuit, your wires will get hot. You know, when your heater's in and you put your hand on the extension cord, it means that the wires are hot. That's a fire hazard. So it's extremely important to add up all of your lights, all of your wattage, to find out what's on that circuit. And I like to keep it about 1100. To me, that's maxing out a circuit, because we're having them on for 12-hour cycle. If it's just a short hour, half an hour, then you can approach 1500 watts. And this is just a safety issue, because you're not there all the time when the lights are on, and the last thing you do is want melting wires, plugs, you know, where you see some smoke on them. There could be another issue there when the wires are hooked up to the plug. So please be careful, please do that. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to cut from here and I'm going to show you the little electricity meter that we have. You can buy them on Amazon. They're like $9.99, and it tells you how many watts is on that circuit. So I'll cut to that and I will come back. Okay, I'm back, folks. And so here we are. We're going to just take a look at what we have here. This is just, I'm going to read the watts. I've got it on watts right now because that's all I really care about. And you can see it's reading just over 1100. And remember when I think I just told you in there, and that's where I like to keep it. So this circuit, this is all I have on this circuit, and it's going to be about 1100. And I just want to be safe. I don't want to approach 1500, just in case. So all my wires are cool. I can feel them. I've got one wire attached on here, and there's no temperature to it whatsoever. If I had that at 1500, although my circuit is 1500 watts, the wire still would be warm. So we are in risk of a fire in that point. So just always feel and buy one of these. They're, you know, $15, $10, $20. They're all the same thing. You just want to measure watts. I don't care really about too much else other than watts. And you want to make sure that this is all I'm using on this circuit. So there's nothing else. And it is approximately 1100. We want to have fun with plants. We don't want to catch our house on fire or overload circuits. So that's very important. We all get one of these. We plug it in. We take a look. And it doesn't have to stay in. We can now take this and move to a different room. As long as you're sure that you're not going to add any more lights. And this one is, you know, 11, 1200, whatever. Then you can remove this device and just take it to the next room and check what you've got going on there. Well, so we're back. Next thing I just briefly want to touch on is wattage. And the wattage for everything else seems to be wattage, except when we get to LEDs. LEDs, 50 watts. It's 50 watts, but if you look very closely, that's the equivalent. The actual wattage for this light is only 7. So be careful when you're buying. They can be advertised 200 watts, 300 watts, 1,000 watts. And then when you actually look at it and when you plug it into your meter, it's 20 watts, 25, and in this case 50, but no, it's 7. That's its replacement as far as an incandescent light. It'll be as bright. This 7-watt LED will be as bright as a regular 50-watt bulb. That's what that means. Its power usage is only 7 watts. So that's what you're going to use when you add up the wattage on your circuit too. But that's very important when you go to purchase something. We want, this is 7 watts, it's not going to produce much light. It's an LED, yes, that's fine, but in an LED, a light like this is 35 watts. Has a little fan in it. That's probably your baseline or the lowest amount you'd want in a light bulb. So this uses 35 watts. It would replace probably 200 watts or 300 watts. So that's what we want to do. So don't pay attention to this. Look at actual wattage. That's very important. Next thing I'm just going to touch upon this. This is a high pressure sodium. And yes, we've used them. And there's metal halide, which is another. These are traditional bulbs. I would recommend this for a room. If your plants are all on the floor and you want to hang a few lights from a room, you're not going to put this. It gives off a tremendous amount of heat and a tremendous amount of light. But I wouldn't put this in a shelving unit. It's going to burn the heat is going to be too much in that section, number one, and some plants will be burning and some plants won't get enough light. So this is something you want to hang in a room, 3 or 4 of them, or 2 of them, depends on the wattage. They can be up to 1,000 watts and much more. And that will light the whole room. And don't look directly at these, they can hurt your eyes. A grow light like this, to me, really doesn't have much value unless the plant is right here. This is the top of the plant, and this is the grow light. You want to keep it about 6 inches away. They do get a little warm, so be careful there. You don't want to burn them. They're not like an LED that there's much less heat. But these really don't put out enough, in my opinion, to use as a grow light. So that's my opinion on those. These, of course, you're never going to use, and I've seen them. They do have grow bulbs. They're pretty much gone. But don't confuse this with an LED. It's not the shape. This is just a regular incandescent light, and I wouldn't use that for a grow light, so we'll throw that out the window. This right here is T5, high output. T5 high output. They do produce some heat, but please watch the first video because I'm going to show you why the heat is actually a positive, not a negative. So please watch that. Some good tips in there. The color range on this is 65K. I've explained that in the other video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you for a stroll around our house. We've got all sorts of different lights. We haven't, if you remember, my biggest point from that first video was don't put your eggs in one basket. Don't just go out and buy, oh, this is the light we chose, and we decked everything out with that light. Because plants, they're not happy with, oh, we're not happy in this situation, that's fine. I move it to a different area with a different light, and all of a sudden it's happy. So some plants are picky. Some plants thrive under certain lights. Some plants do poorly under certain lights. So don't put your eggs in one basket. They're all good. They're all different methods. You know, from red lights to LEDs to fluorescents with, you know, argon gas inside. There's many methods, and try and get a few of each so you have some options when you get a sick plant that needs maybe less light, or you get a plant that needs more heat, or you get a plant that's too stressed under a red light, you want to put it under a nice full spectrum 65K sunlight. So please don't put your eggs in one basket. Get all sorts of stuff, and you can always add to a shelf. So if I just had a ballast with 2 of these T5 high output bulbs on the ballast, or if I had an LED string, a 4-foot lamp attached on, and I wanted some supplemental lighting, yeah, it's not doing quite enough. You can just put, and I'll show you, there are little attachments that you get, and that can now shine on your shelf. These put out a tremendous amount of wattage, and that will increase, and you can change your shelf. So let's go first take a quick peek at what we have, and then maybe we'll do a summation after that. Okay, take care, see you soon. Oh, we're gonna do a quick tour of the lighting in our house. So we're in the kitchen here, and you can see under the counters, Nellie has them packed with plants. So what we have here, I don't know if you can see it, hard to look up with your eyes, but there is a T5 high output LED, and it's a full spectrum. So it's not the red lights and it's not the blue lights. Nice warm light, and puts off a little bit of heat. So we actually do have a microclimate in here. The rest of the house is probably set to maybe 19 or 20, but just because it's under this shelf, it's got the fridge next to it, it's got this little microclimate, it's actually up to 23.1 degrees. So that's kind of a neat idea there. And here above our bar, we have another LED, hard to look at with your eyes, but it is a T5 high output 4-foot strip, and it's probably at about 3,500 Kelvin, and that again is the temperature. Please watch our first video that will explain that. These, actually, this is our patio door, so these mostly get full sunlight through, but they do have a LED high output spot that's giving them some light. Now our fireplace, very simply, this is a shop light. If you people are looking for inexpensive lighting, I think this was $9.99. A 4-foot strip does provide nice lighting, as you can see from the plants. Some good lighting for the cost, $9.99. It's 3,200 Kelvin and probably puts out about 2,000 lumens. Okay, so here we have some extreme high-powered spots. These are both LED. One is a cob and one's an actual LED. They're putting out 2,500 lumens a piece, and you can see by the plants, they're all thriving. Now we're back to a 4-foot LED. Another spot. Okay, now we're going to go to the grow rooms, and that's where the real lighting is. Okay, so we're going to come in one of the rooms here, and we're going to see a variety of lights. So here we have red LED, and you can see by the plants, very red. Those are putting out 100 real watts, not LED watts. The actual wattage is 100 watts a piece. And we have T5 high output 65K ballast right there. That puts out 54 watts, so 110 watts per unit and 65 Kelvin, and they put out 5,000 lumens a piece. So you've got 10,000 lumens just on that. So down here, you can see we have 2 T5 high outputs. Now you can replace, as I said in the other plus, is I could replace one of these with a 35K. So I could have a 65K, which is closer to the blue spectrum, or is the blue spectrum, and I could have and I'll show you over here. You can, I don't know if you can see the difference. So you got that color, and then that color. I don't know if you can see the difference. This one is 45K. And the top one should be whiter. It's 65K, but who knows if you're actually going to get that. So anyway, well, back to this light over here. There's so we have 20,000 lumens there at 65K. Okay, and so right here we have some supplemental lighting. So that's if you say to yourself, okay, well, we've got 20,000 lumens at 65K, but we also want a red spectrum. This is a red spectrum LED, and then back there we've got that's more of a full spectrum LED, and they're shining all on these lights. So we've got all sorts of different lights, and you can add them. We take some from this room, we put them in the other room, we move them around. We've got all sorts of, so we're all shaking it up, and there's our shelf that it's got the red. We've got a shelf here with some 4-foot T5 high output LED full spectrums there, and same thing on this shelving unit here. That's the same light we're gonna see, so that's good. This shelving for our sensitive areas and our more tender plants, some cactuses and what have you, we've got on these. They're just shop lights. They were, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks, what have you. They're LED. They are a mid-spectrum, giving you a nice warm light at about 45K. We've got 2 on the shelf, and the plants seem to be doing extremely happy. And we've got, so 2 down here too. So these are for more of our tender plants. And then you can see we've got much lower to the plants. We've got more T5 output, high output, and some purple lights. And down below we've got 1 off, but there are two there. So this shelf would have 20,000 lumens on that. And then bottom shelf, again, much closer. This is probably 6-8 inches off some of these plants here. So that's good. And our workbench, it just has one of these shop full spectrums. And we'll take you around the corner to another room. I'm only going to show you the 2 rooms in this video, just because it's probably too long. Okay, so we've got a shelving here. So this one has 4, so that would be 40,000 lumens. And this is more for house plants, so you can see. Ones, we don't have bulbs in that because we do move them around. This one right here, so we've got, this one's kind of got a mix up. You can see it's got a 65K is the white one that would be right here. 35K would be the LED T5 high output over here. So you can definitely see the color, the warmth in the color. The closer you get to, say, 2000K, the redder it gets. And the closer you get to 65K, the whiter it gets. So there's a perfect example right there of the 2 different. And then we have now, this stresses out our succulents. So it's a full 4-foot. They don't video well because of the hertz cycle that they're on. So they almost look like they're out, but they're not. Anyway, to stress out some more of our succulents, it does give a nice compact growth. So you don't have to worry about that. You can see there's no legginess in here. Plants are nice and tight and healthy. So that's a red light there. And then we've got some, another section of succulents. This has got a 65K T5 high output. You can see we've got a lot of these. See, there's another fixture there, and we've got 1 there, 1 bulb that's missing right there that we've probably taken somewhere else. So these are auxiliary. If we want to increase light or we want to change light, or the plants, aren't happy, we can, here's an example. I just want to show you this. This side right here is 65K. This side right here is 45K. So you can see the difference, the white closer to the blue spectrum and closer to the red spectrum. So these are producing totally different lights. And if the plant isn't happy on this side, you know, we're going to move it over on this side. Or if it wants, you know, if it's too hot on one of these smaller shelves, we move it to a shelf with more room. If it needs more light, we move it on a shelf that's only maybe 6 inches. So as you can see, and many, like this one is probably 6 inches above it. So that is some of our lighting, and that's how we use it. Of course, down below there's some propagation. I don't know if anyone's into succulent propagation, but we're certainly gonna do a video on that. Let's see if I can come in. I don't know why I'm showing you this right now, but we will get into that. That's I don't know if it's focusing. Focus. Anyhow, that's what that is. So we'll get into that. We'll show you some stuff. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. This was pretty much a basic video just to give you some hints, some ideas, give you some knowledge, just touching on the top. We haven't dug in deep yet, and we're not going to in this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please put them down, write them down. We will get back to you. We will show you another room that's got some more in-depth grow lights, some more powerful stuff. But right now, we just want to keep it. This is for the person that wants to spend $100 on lighting and wants to understand, or wants to spend $200 in lighting and do a room. This isn't for the person that wants to spend $2,000 on lighting. And frankly, we have great results in these rooms that don't have the advanced lighting. That you know, hopefully we're giving you some ideas and hopefully showing you that you can do it. You can go to Home Depot. You can buy a light that doesn't say grow light on it, and it works. And your plants will grow and they'll be happy. And you just got to remember, the more watts, the better. And yes, we are not getting into you know, how efficient the lights are. Yes, I know that if a light is too inefficient, it's no good. But baseline, guys, let's look. Try and get something, you know, 50, 60, 70, 80 watts and at LED watts, and you should be fine. We will do a video talking about ppfd. We'll talk about pars. We'll talk about U-moles per meter per second squared. We'll get into that. But right now, this is not about that. I don't want to confuse anyone. Don't want to lose anyone. That's what this is about. So listen, if you've got any good information from this whatsoever, please like us. Please subscribe. We've got some good videos. We've got some funny videos. We've got all sorts, plant related, indoor, outdoor, what have you. Like us, subscribe, and we're going to see you next week. Take care. Bye. We'll be happy and just buy a shop vac. A shop vac. Yeah, okay, so just buy a shop vac and just suck the plants into the... Okay.
Maybe you should drink when you do videos.
Hero Canada, it's cold outside right now. Baby, it's cold outside.
That song's totally stuck in my head too.
Okay, hey folks, welcome to Rusty and Nellie's Jungle. Today's video, last video was about the succulents, stressing out the succulents. Oh, I think something's wrong with the camera here. All right, so am I even in the screen?
No, it's better that way.
We can fix it. Oh my gosh, look at the jugs on her. Cut. Hi, I'm Nellie.
No, you're not. You're Rusty. Rusty.
Darn. Cut.
It's like up at the gum. You moved it.
Okay.
Good to go.
All right.
Wow.
Okay, we ready?
Do anything with my hair today, dear. What the fuck are
They do, it's professional people do this. Okay.